Welcome. This is Gary Sultan, Chief of R&D and creator of IOP Technology. This video introduces you to your IOP Emotional Impact Management Report. This report is concerned with controlling the emotions that you cause, not just experience. This is important. You are going to rely on others for your success, raises, promotions, coveted jobs, and the like. It's going to be a lot easier getting their help if you're able to leave them with good feelings about having worked with you. So let's look at the report. The first thing you'll see is an outline of your dominant IOP strategic style. This is just a typical pattern of behavior that you tend to use on a regular basis. This is a picture of it. The yellow arrow represents your behavior that people are likely to see and react to. It's not your only approach, just the one you are most likely to use. The next paragraph explains why you use it. You use it because it fits your life. Your life is unique, so the strategy you use to navigate it is unique. Other people lead different lives. They use different strategies. This is the paragraph that connects what you do with the emotions that you cause. Because you see your strategy working every day in your life, you reasonably come to believe that your way is the right way. If there's a right way, there must be a wrong way. With that little leap, you've got a moral dimension, a right and wrong, a standard of behavior. The effect of this little leap begins on the next page. The first paragraph explains emotions. They are biochemical bodily reactions. They are automatic, not elective. They are nature's way of telling you to pay attention. Then there are feelings. These are your interpretation of the meaning of the biochemistry you are experiencing. Emotions can be positive or negative, but not neutral. The reason is that there is nothing to pay attention to in a neutral situation. Remember, emotions are nature's way of alerting you to something. If there's nothing to alert you to, there is no reason for your body to warn you of anything. The next paragraph outlines IOP's role in managing your emotions. IOP measures your information processing preferences. This is the standard information processing template. So, how does IOP information processing relate to emotions? Well, in order to experience an emotion, you first have to notice something. That's input. Then you have to determine what that input means. That's processing. Finally, you have to decide what to do about it. That's output. This template tells you that you have three things you can use to control your emotional impact: input, process, and output. Here is how it works in an uncontrolled situation. Something happens. That's your input. You process it to figure out what it means. You might deem it to be harmful. Next comes the judgment. You might feel hurt or otherwise damaged. It might stop right there, but it does not have to. Your hurt feelings can themselves become input. You process some more. You determine that you've been subject to an injustice. Now your output is anger. Anger can become a new input. You process still more. Your new output might be feelings of betrayal. And it goes on. You process your feelings of betrayal. Your new output can now become feelings for revenge. This piece really happened. These pieces are your creation. This paragraph points out that what happens to you happens to others. Your behavior is an event in the lives of other people. Just as you experience the cascade, so can these other people. Remember, people tend to repay in kind. It is to your advantage to control the emotional cascades that you might cause. Their consequences, positive or negative, can revisit you in the future. In order to control something, you have to know what causes it. That is what this section talks about. It points out that any behavior can be seen as positive or negative. The items in red are the positive qualities that can be assigned to your typical behavior. The next page shows that exactly the same behaviors can cause negative attributions. The red items are examples of these negative qualities. These are the ones you are prone to generate. Do them often enough, and they will come to characterize your personality in the eyes of others. So, what determines whether your behavior is seen as positive or negative? One thing is that different people have different IOP profiles. Remember, they are leading different lives and using different strategies. They process information differently. You are unique, and so are they. For example, the woman needs detailed information. The man only wants to know about the central aspects of a situation. She processes things methodically. She needs time. He uses spontaneous nonlinear methods. For him, instantly is slow. Her intended output is to do something. His intended output is creative ideas and options. So, now you know one reason why people react differently to your initiatives. They are seeing the world in different terms. What do you do about it? Well, you manage your impact on them. This starts by knowing your typical exposures. This next section talks about managing your impact. The circled items on this page identify the likely biases generated by your automatic tendencies. For you, these have become the right way things should be done. People not sharing these biases are the ones most likely to characterize your behavior negatively. You should try to think about these preferences as a way of getting things done, not the way. This alone will go a long way toward improving the emotional outcomes that you generate. If you need evidence that your way is not the only way, look around. Some very successful people have and are using strategies other than those that you prefer. The next section focuses on managing the initial event that can launch cascades in other people. Your IOP profile creates some general tendencies. These are the kinds of things likely to kick off negative cascades in others. Remember, these are just some, not all, of the more likely ones. Here are some ideas you might want to use to offset these exposures. There are other ways, but this is a place to start. Up to now, we've been talking about responses to your initial posture on an issue. This section considers the emotions generated over a long exposure involving multiple interactions. The earlier sections considered your dominant strategy. It is important, but it is not the only thing. This section considers the frequency that you use all of the different strategies that you have in your inventory. Like your short-term responses, your longer-term behavioral patterns can take on positive attributions. The red qualities are those that are likely to arise when you use your favorite methods. The next page has some of the negative qualities generated by exactly the same behaviors. Turn the page and you will get some ideas on how you might handle your opportunities and exposures. There are more ways, but these will give you a start. You might have noticed these check marks in your report. These are meant to call your attention to things that could be especially relevant to you. They are not the only things to pay attention to, just those that stand out a bit more. The next section talks about managing your internal self. What you are thinking can matter as much as what you are doing. Pay attention to this section. Controlling what you are thinking can be the fastest and easiest way of managing your emotional impact on others. It's worth your attention. The next section talks about controlling cascades, stopping them from starting if you can, and controlling them if you can't. This section has some practical tips that are worth reading. Pay particular attention to the mirror strategy. It has been used for centuries. If you can master it, there is nothing more effective. Give it a try. It's worth it. The report concludes with a summary. It says that your strategy is both valid and needed. It deserves the respect of others. The other side of the coin is that others use different strategies that deserve your respect. If this report has done nothing more than sensitize you to this truth, it has been worth your effort. Well, we're done. Thank you for viewing this video. If you want more information on IOPT, you can go to our websites at IOPT.com or oeinstitute.org. Thank you again for your interest in IOP technology.